Hey, I'm Scotty, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to simplify this cottage scene using my loose ink and watercolor sketching technique. So where do you start on a reference like this? Well, I break it down into the big main shapes here. So I'm going to show you the shapes that I use. You could do this in different order, but I compare those main shapes and I get smaller and smaller as I go. And I'm going to use dots to place position points for making those main shapes. So I've got my border around my page. Now we're going to start to break this down. And I start with the bigger shapes. So I'm going to put two dots, one at the top of this pathway here and the other one at the bottom on the right. And that will divide the page in two, so you have enough room for those boats and then enough room for the building. So we can see that dot on the left. If we go to halfway, and it's just down a little bit from halfway, and that one, and now I'm just going around some of these plants and whatever you see there. I could go around this bush actually. And that's fun to do those kind of lines. If we go halfway of the page, so halfway between those two borders, it's near that triangle that we had before, and put a dot here, and then halfway between these 2 points, put a dot there. And that's just from observation. So once again, let's do that. And now we can make them more blocky and square shapes, and it should be angling down this way. Where does that line cut? See, it's just a little bit past halfway between those 2 points, about there. And now just a straightish line about there, halfway between those 2 points. A crazy line like this. Now we'll finish this section here with this bit of grass there. So imagine that that line is continuing up, so it could come to about there, and we're leaving a space for that boat. And it continues up, and make it a bit tighter up here, a bit closer there. And there we go, we've got most of that bottom section, and we've left a good space for the boats. Okay, now the building, the cottage. I'm coming down about 1 centimeter. Now, halfway between those 2 points is here. So now let's find this point here of the building, and I'll go exactly halfway between the two borders, and then to the right a little bit. We go all the way nearly to the end, but we're comparing it to this point. Enjoy the line, go slowly and let it wiggle on the page a little bit. And aim going up to that dot at the top there. Let's join that up there, and then it comes down. We can come straight down and then add a little bit of this bush here and this wall. Come straight down there. Next most important big shape is this shed on the side. So we have a dot here just below the top of the roof. Look at this border and the edge of your building, and now put a dot every third. Let's make 3 sections equal size. 1, 2, 3. Corner of the top corner of the roof, and then it will come down to about there, really close to the edge of the page. And on this side, see that angle there? Let's do the same angle here of the roof. So I'm going to draw this line a bit wobbly like that around the plants, and then go straight across there. Once again, that is a very horizontal line. And now let's connect those up. One there and one there. So that's straight down, vertical, and go down. The next objects are those trees, the outline of those trees behind the shed. So I'm exaggerating the shapes. There's also a little bush in here. So they're the main shapes. Now we're going to sketch the boats. And to do the boats, we're going to use the dots to put 3 points. So you can see there, one on the point of the boat and then 2 at the back. The end of the boat, you can see, comes a little bit further to the left of that corner of the shed. And then the back of the boat comes to the back left corner there. So I'll connect this line here. And then I'll put a bit more curve on this side. And then straighter. Okay, so we've got that top shape. Now let's draw the back shape here. Come straight down on that side and straight down on this side, the same lengths. And then join them up. And they should be the same angle as this line. Draw the front bit. And then following this same line, just to make it simple, connect them up like that. So let's put a dot here and 2 dots here. So like that. And this one curves really a lot on the left. And then straight. The back bit of the boat and then the front or the side. So this angle and this angle are the same. Connect that up. And then the back shape there, and follow that curve. So I put 2 dots there. The back of the boat is somewhere here. There. and then out to there. Section, nice trapezium. Just connect them up. Very flat angle to there. Got that shape there, and then the back, and a dot going up into the bush there. Have to add a curve there. We'll go back into the boats and add some detail there. So if I compare my fingers, the right edge of this window here is about halfway. So put a dot halfway between these 2 points. Let's put another dot there and there. Come across here and put a dot here. The window just goes out of the reference. Add the top section, and we'll do that same on this side, straight across. Now from this edge here, which was halfway between those 2 points, come straight down, width of the door. That'll be the top of that window, and that'll be the top of that window. Now I've finished all the main shapes. So we have where the boats go, the shed, and the wonderful cottage there. So we have to add in the details. And then we go up, this is the other chimney here. Now with this roof, a way to simplify this is just by adding in some main lines. We don't have to make it too accurate here, just very light lines, just giving the impression of what the tiles look like. Very light lines, following that angle there. Should all be the same. Now the windows, so simplifying them again, I'm just drawing the borders. Make sure they're not perfect. See, I'm angling them all slightly different. Same thing here, border. Now the windows down here, the same thing, I'm just drawing those. There's a circle there. There's even a pair of shoes. Wide sill at the bottom. The gate, just overlap it over the top. And then the blocks here, so we can add with one line, we're just giving the impression of all these stones, and they're just very random. You don't have to fill the whole space. So that's enough detail for here. I'll come to this next section and outline that plant. Stonework on the sides, so some more impressionistic stones. I'm just going to add a few lines here because you can't really see all of them. And let's break this up now. Line straight down, and then divide that up. Straight lines, and this is all in one line too. I'll go from one side to the other, but keep my pen on the page. I'll put a line down that way. Do vertical lines, and this way straight lines. Now anything you see as we go, we can add in that detail. Now, on each top edge of the boat, we'll add a bit of thickness and a light line. And we'll also add in, same angle as the back, add in a plank of wood there. And just one line, squiggle. Block in these colours and then let it dry and add a second layer to add the detail. Okay, so first of all, let's grab some cerulean blue. Put on this here, the colour. Just brush big broad strokes and across this section there. And I have sap green. We'll go across, and we're bringing that warm green to about there, and then add in just a little bit of viridian green or some blue. It's a more bluey green, and so I'm darkening it up just slightly, viridian green, and it comes across, and that adds dynamic lighting and depth. Let's use some yellow ochre to make it look sandy. Okay, and then I'm adding in just a little bit of Payne's grey into there. So I'm going to actually start here on this side and put in these. So I'm adding more yellow ochre to it. And going over here. So now the roof of the shed, very prominent here. So this is burnt sienna. Wipe your brush and then bring it across the roof. Saturation here. So this is really a bright burnt colour. So what we can do is add burnt umber. So that's a brown. And as I go across, I'm going to add some Payne's grey. So start on this side, so get to this side, so it's a darker brown there now. I'm going to use the sap green and bring that across. Bring that in. So the trees in the background, we're going to add in some Payne's grey to the green, because that will give it that olive look. Yeah, see that? Darker. Nice. So I'll see what happens if I touch it just there. So we'll use Payne's Grey, so I'm not adding anything into it now. So really watered down. See how white light they are? Yeah, that looks like it's got some more orange in it. So we'll put some burnt sienna as we go across, and then across there. And follow all of these little timber pieces here. Just say there's a bit of red in there. I've taken out a bit of that water, and now I'm putting my finger here, and we're seeing how much control we have. See, that's about enough. So, and you can also add dots like this. Payne's Grey here, vertical lines here into the stonework. So just put that in, and a little bit on the roof there. Viridian green, but add in some turquoise to make it different to the bottom. So let's outline each frame of the window with this colour. If you can, along the lines here. We could add a bit of green into that Payne's Grey there. Just plain turquoise. Now let's have some fun doing these boats here. Just top it there. So I've dried that with my hairdryer. Now we can add shadows. So let's try that out. So I'm going to get my purple lake here, adding ultramarine. These shadows are really strong. That's why I'm going for this more strong colour here. So now here as well on the windows, let's add a bit on the top bits there. Right across, and then bring it down into the door. So right across. So you can go slowly with your brush, let the paint seep in. Some shadow into these trees here where the shadows are, just behind there. There too. So we have one here, quite narrow, and those shadows add so much depth to the sketch already. And now we can start adding some more detail to the sketch. It's a bit dark at the bottom of the window. The splattering again, subtle horizontal lines. Get some saturated colour that we had before, and you can just dab it in and just putting it in the corners. Now I have my Uniball Signo pen, and we go across the edge of the building's metal roof here. And there is some glints in this timber, so you can add on the edges and corners because the light will be reflecting off there. And on top of this one, and then just in the windows a few shines, some little flowers there. So that's how I simplify a complex cottage scene like this with my loose ink and watercolor style. We started off with those big main shapes and went down into the details. If you want to see the full version without all the cuts, you can go over to my Patreon page where we've got that full version, and you also get the reference in the template which you can use to sketch along. And then when you finish, you can post your sketch on the community chat and show everyone what you've done, and also ask me any questions if you have any. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.